Tottenham are going to be 17 points ahead of us when they beat us next week. Chelsea are going to be 17 points behind Tottenham in the league, and we are only in October. This is nothing short of a disgrace. It's an embarrassment to the shirt. It's totally unacceptable, and Pochettino is responsible. It's Pochettino's fault. The buck stops with him. Now look, this can get twisted. In fact, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a live on this channel. It doesn't happen often. I'm going to go live on this channel tonight at 7:30. If you want to drop in to explore this, please do. But the buck does stop with Pochettino. Now look, what can't happen here is, do not twist what I'm saying. By no stretch is this a Pochettino out video. I want Chelsea to get better. I want Chelsea to succeed, and I want Pochettino to oversee our charge up the table. I think he is the right man for the job. I think that Pochettino is the best thing about the club in a footballing sense. Nobody higher than Pochettino has a clue what they're doing. So Pochettino is undoubtedly a proven decent football manager, and we need it to work. We need him to succeed, and we need him to stay. But he is making a pig's ear of it at the moment, and we are allowed to criticise the manager without suggesting that he needs to be sacked. It is truly ridiculous what is going on. But the easiest thing to do, and I think it's cowardly, is to start talking about the owners today. Now look, everybody knows how I feel about our ownership. They are killing Chelsea Football Club from the inside out. They are the worst owners that Chelsea could have possibly had, and they are one of the worst things to have ever happened to Chelsea Football Club. This experiment that they are conducting is undermining and changing Chelsea Football Club, not for the better, and it's going to get a whole lot worse. I despise this ownership. They are toxic. They are poison to our football club. And we can discuss that at length, but not today. When the referee blows the full-time whistle at Stamford Bridge and Chelsea have lost 2-0 to Brentford, it isn't the time to talk about Todd Bowley. It isn't the time to talk about the venture capitalists trying to extract money out of our club. It's the moment to discuss the manager and the players. And that is what we need to do now, because Pochettino is getting it so wrong. I mean, playing players out of position, really odd team selection, playing players who are constantly out of form. And if you look at our home defeats this year, Pochettino needs to take responsibility for them. Chelsea have already lost at home. Can you believe it? It's so painful. We've already lost at home to Aston Villa, to Brentford today, and to Nottingham Forest. How can that possibly be acceptable? I mean, if it wasn't so painful, it'd be laughable. We're calamitous at home. Stamford Bridge should be a fortress. Jose Mourinho's home record. Every success that we've ever had has been built on Stamford Bridge being an intimidating place for opposition players and fans to come. It's a ride now. Everybody turns up expecting a victory. It's a disaster when Arsenal only take a point at Stamford Bridge. It's a disaster. So, I don't really know how we can proceed as a club until we solve certain problems. And number one, look, we need a goal scorer. There are loads of issues. We're not going to win many football matches with Nicholas Jackson leading the line. That's a fact. But our home form is a disgrace. And Chelsea are below Brentford in the league. Mauricio Pochettino is below Thomas Frank in the league. And let's remember that Brentford haven't exactly had a good season. Brentford aren't exactly cooking. They've won 3 games all season. Like, Brentford have already lost to Everton. They've already lost to Fulham. Like, they get beat, this Brentford team. And yet, somehow, they turn up at Stamford Bridge and they win. And look, they win well. Chelsea played well in the first half. It could have been different. The first half, I think we were quite dominant. But we don't have an answer when teams sit back against us. And now this is Pochettino. There needs to be a plan B. Okay, Enzo Fernandez is out. The first time we've had to play without Enzo Fernandez this year. So come up with an answer. Solve that problem. Manage that situation. You are a manager who is apparently elite, some would suggest. I mean, I think that suggestion is laughable. You know, I just don't know where we're going to go from here. Every single time we play, there is jeopardy around the result. Nothing is a given. Nothing is easy. And the fact that Chelsea fans booed at the full-time whistle, the fact that Mauricio Pochettino seemed to be having an argument at the end of the first half with a Chelsea fan. Like, you know how this is going to go. You can feel the direction this is going. Anybody that was going to Chelsea regularly, 2013 when Benitez was our manager, will know what it's like. We know how poisonous Stamford Bridge can be when there is disharmony. Even the Sarri era, it was a hateful time at times. And I feel like it's going that way. The Tottenham connections are going to be discussed. The fact that Chelsea are lurking so far behind Tottenham in the league. Like, I feel like as a support, we can tolerate a lot. I don't think we're particularly demanding. I think a lot of Chelsea fans are aware that we went 25 years without a trophy, but expectations change and they change fast. And I think that we can tolerate a lot. But being below Tottenham in the league is something that is going to really, really make a lot of people irate. And the fact that Pochettino is getting so much wrong. We are on the brink of a disaster. The boos at the end was so damning. And that image, it's going to be burned into the retina of football fans forever. It's going to be a meme, isn't it? Robert Sanchez's sort of doomed pursuit of Neil Maupay as Maupay bears down on an open goal, as Chelsea have sent our goalkeeper up to try and nick a point at home to a fairly uninspiring, lacklustre Brentford side. We are undoubtedly on the brink of a crisis if we aren't in one. You know, I think that we can all be quite reactionary, can't we? You know, you get a good point against Arsenal and you're unlucky not to win the game, and you win a few games in a row and you suddenly go, okay, a corner has been turned, but it's smoke and mirrors. Like, we are all over the place. Everybody that we play is capable of beating us. It came to the stage today. We're chasing a game against Brentford and we're throwing on that David Washington. Like, Madueke. How good is he really? Nicholas Jackson. Like, genuinely, is Nicholas Jackson a Premier League player? Is that a fair question to ask? Is Jackson a Premier League player? Think about players that currently play in the Championship. Is Nicholas Jackson a better player than Iheanacho? Is he a better player than Jamie Vardy? It really does make you wonder. Noni Madueke, is he a Premier League player genuinely? Or is, and now this is where it comes on to ownership, or is the owner's desire to only sign a very particular kind of player in order to ensure the furtherance of the value of the club, to squeeze the club for every penny that you can, rather than signing good, proven footballers for the here and now? You try and elevate the value of the club. And that is why James Maddison is now not in a Chelsea shirt. Too old. And we have a policy. Look, I'm going to talk about this in greater length because I'm just sort of processing this ridiculous scenario that we're in. But I'll be back live at 7:30 on this channel. We'll give it a go, eh? See if anyone tunes in. If they do, we could do it as a regular thing. Let me know if you're going to make it. I hope to see you there. Nightmare. About 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday and the weekend's over. Truly shambolic. See you in a bit later, maybe.